Imagine entering a crowded arena. Some competitors rely on decency and fair play. Others twist lies, bully rivals, and break rules. Strangely, the cutthroat contenders often stand triumphant. Is the world rigged for the merciless? Or do they simply grasp an unsettling truth about power? In politics, business, and history, you'll find countless figures who lacked any noble core, yet rose to astonishing heights. Ruthless emperors, manipulative CEOs, they keep surfacing. For every honest fighter left behind, a hard-hearted manipulator claims the crown. What's fueling this pattern? Evolution offers one clue. Survival depends on competition for scarce resources. Those unafraid to seize advantages often end up on top. People guided purely by kindness or fairness may hesitate, offering less mercy than their rivals. Where hesitation means defeat, unscrupulous opportunists sometimes thrive. Still, power attained through deceit isn't always stable. Cruel leaders often meet spectacular collapses. So, the riddle isn't just why unethical players succeed, but also how long such success lasts. Meanwhile, what about those who refuse to abandon moral integrity? Friedrich Nietzsche saw power as unavoidable, neither virtuous nor wicked by default. You can't ignore its influence. If you long to discover why the worst people often rule, you must first grasp what power is and why it entices us so profoundly. Nietzsche's concept of master and slave morality illuminates this. He argued that morality is shaped by power struggles, not by an eternal code. Some champion bold strength and self-assertion, master morality. Others exalt humility and submission, slave morality. This clash reveals why tyrants sometimes thrive. Picture two fighters on a battlefield. One charges forward, taking territory without apology. The other awaits approval, praying fairness will protect him. The bold warrior seldom cowers, forging his own destiny. The timid warrior, shackled by caution, rarely conquers. Nietzsche believed the world favors decisive actors. He said, master morality arises from rulers who praise power, ambition, and courage. They view goodness as anything that magnifies their ability to dominate and create. They despise hesitation or weakness, forging their own worth without seeking permission. Strength is their virtue. Slave morality, by contrast, grows among the oppressed. Lacking direct power, they extol kindness, piety, and obedience. They condemn strength as harmful, paint pride as sin, and glorify suffering as noble. Nietzsche believed this moral code is an ingenious survival tool, but it can indirectly glorify weakness. With that lens, the unscrupulous can climb upward because society's gentler souls hesitate. The group that lauds meekness inadvertently cedes power to those unafraid to seize it. In a realm where mercy or doubt is fatal, ambition outpaces caution every time. Does that mean we must choose between cruelty and powerlessness? Must we discard moral concerns to succeed? Or can we balance moral insight with strategic prowess? To see the possibilities, we must explore deeper into Nietzsche's psychology of power. Think of a wild expanse where creatures fight for every inch. Nature doesn't abide by moral codes. The lion hunts unapologetically. The storm destroys without remorse. In Nietzsche's view, human society also rests upon primal competition hidden beneath social niceties. Ruthless individuals often share certain traits. They're fearless, can act without crippling guilt, and remain decisive when others waver. Psychologists note that a willingness to bend rules often correlates with climbing success in harsh environments. That doesn't make all powerful people evil, but it highlights a pattern. We see it historically. Conquerors from Genghis Khan to modern moguls who rid the environment then take bold, sometimes shocking steps. Averse to waiting politely, they seize control, leaving the hesitant behind. Those aiming to stay respectable risk never stepping forward at all. Yet, pure aggression doesn't guarantee longevity. Countless dictators or bullies eventually toppled. Power built on intimidation alone can unravel. Betrayal, rebellion, or shifting tides can bring a sudden downfall. So, how do the cunning sustain their rule? Many misunderstand fairness as a cosmic law. From childhood, we're told that goodness is rewarded, wrongdoing punished. Religious stories, moral tales, and cultural teachings fuel this comforting belief. Then adult reality disrupts it. The most diligent aren't necessarily wealthy, and the gentlest hearts sometimes get trampled. This discrepancy feels like a flaw, but Nietzsche suggests it's just reality. He describes slave morality as a psychological adaptation for the powerless. It's a shield that soothes the vulnerable while the strong keep forging ahead, unfettered by illusions of guaranteed justice. We call it the just world fallacy, believing life is inherently fair, that everyone receives their just deserts. This leads to passivity as we wait for righteous triumph. Meanwhile, the unscrupulous keep moving, unburdened by faith in karmic balance. Is morality pointless then? Must we trample others to win? Not necessarily. Nietzsche's insight suggests that the naive suffer the most. Those who blend principle with strategic thinking can surpass purely ruthless rivals. Fairness isn't guaranteed. It must be constructed, backed by strength. Nietzsche proposes transcending both the weakness of slavish thinking and the cruelty of brutish conquerors. He envisions a higher ideal, the Übermensch. This archetype forges destiny without bowing to convention, rejects complacency, and wields power responsibly, fueling creation rather than mere destruction. Imagine standing before a daunting abyss. Behind you lies an unjust world with flawed institutions and suffocating norms. Ahead, uncharted territory that only the bold dare explore. Most recoil, but a few stride forward. These few become Übermenschen, trailblazers carving reality on their own terms. The Übermensch isn't just about might. True power resides in continual self-overcoming, crafting your identity free from society's moral shackles. Such a person doesn't seek external validation through cruelty. Their strength isn't borrowed, it's innate, rooted in creative vision rather than raw force. Ruthless tyrants may gain fleeting control, but they often stay trapped in external conquests. The Übermensch pursues inner mastery. Their ambition arises from self-transcendence, not a longing to crush others. Hence, the worst people might rise swiftly, but they rarely transform into something greater. How can we adopt these lessons in daily life? Must we become monsters or remain timid? Nietzsche's answer is more nuanced. Grasp the nature of power and use it as a tool, not a weapon. Understand human competition without forfeiting your integrity. Imagine life as a high-stakes challenge. Cutthroats play to win, ignoring ethics. The naive cling to pure goodness. Nietzsche suggests a third route: combine moral conviction with strategic insight. Recognize life's harsh undercurrents, yet never let them swallow your fundamental nobility. One mistake is expecting fairness to save you. Ruthless rivals capitalize on that assumption. Accept life's fundamental tension. Power tends to flow toward those who know its mechanics. You can maintain moral boundaries while still understanding that passivity leads to defeat. Refusing to manipulate doesn't mean refusing to see how manipulation operates. Strategic empathy means looking into people's drives, discerning hidden motives, and guarding against exploitation. You needn't stoop to deceit. Simply anticipate the moves of those who do. Fear shackles many. Fear of failing, being unloved, or standing alone. The Ubermensch tame such fear from within. Instead of asking permission or waiting for acceptance, they create fresh opportunities. Rather than cower before strong personalities, they cultivate an unbreakable core. Distinguish between reckless ruthlessness and deliberate resolve. The first is blind destruction, lashing out with no plan. The second is the capacity to act decisively, even if it means making unpopular decisions. True power sometimes requires severing toxic ties or facing hard truths. Short-term, pure ruthlessness can fuel meteoric rises. Long-term, it's precarious. Corrupt empires crumble when resentment boils over. The stronger path is creation, not destruction. Building real value, be it an enterprise, an idea, or a community, generates lasting influence that's harder to topple. So, can you thrive in a realm that glorifies merciless success? Indeed, but you must outgrow the old illusions. Don't cling to naive moralizing. Recognize that might alone doesn't define greatness, and that cunning can be tempered by ethical aims. You choose your path. This begs the question: is power itself evil, or do we just misunderstand it? Power shapes civilizations, changes destinies, and can crush or uplift. For Nietzsche, power is neither demon nor angel. It's raw potential, waiting to be directed by will and character. He saw the will to power not simply as a savage impulse to dominate, but as the innate drive to surpass your current limits, creatively shaping your environment. Power is the spark behind art, innovation, and personal evolution. Yet misused, it topples nations. Corruption emerges when power is sought for shallow ego or petty greed. Many rulers, once they ascend, become intoxicated by flattery and control. They fail to expand inwardly, surrendering instead to tyranny. Power magnifies hidden flaws, if not guided by introspection. Society typically equates the pursuit of power with immorality. But Nietzsche challenged this norm. He believed conventional morality often restricts us, stifling vibrant life. What if the real danger is stunted growth, living passively, never testing your own potential? For Nietzsche, harnessing the will to power is about forging new values rather than swallowing old dogmas. It's about refusing to let outside definitions of good confine you. Understood this way, power becomes a quest toward excellence, a bold stance against stagnation. This doesn't mean every power seeker is righteous. That depends on motive. Are they striving for deeper expression and creative breakthroughs? Or do they crave dominion over others to mask hidden insecurities? Power itself remains neutral until wielded with a specific intent. We see power's double edge. Used wisely, it sparks cultural renaissances. Used selfishly, it fosters oppression. Thus, condemning power as evil overlooks its potential as an engine of progress. The challenge is becoming someone capable of wielding it without succumbing to corruption. Nietzsche's call is bold. Embrace your will to power. Don't fear ambition. Don't hide behind virtue as an excuse to avoid bigger risks. Instead, discipline yourself. Forge an iron will that aims not to crush, but to transcend limitations, both personal and societal. This approach demands brutal self-awareness. Power can be addictive, warping perspective, and breeding arrogance. To stay balanced, you must continuously question your motives. Is your triumph fueling growth, or is it feeding vanity? Are you building or merely grabbing? History brims with cautionary tales. Political figures who started with noble dreams sometimes devolved into dictators. Corporations formed with visionary zeal sank into scandal. In each case, power became a mirror reflecting unacknowledged weaknesses or moral fractures. So, is power evil? Not innately, but it's a powerful amplifier of one's inner state. If your heart harbors cruelty, that cruelty explodes once you gain leverage. If you're driven by creation and empathy, your power can spark new possibilities. The world sees your essence magnified. Nietzsche dared us to accept that moral codes are largely human inventions. They can protect communities, but also suppress personal brilliance. The Übermensch stands above inherited norms, forging a path aligned with a personal vision, commanding power as a tool for self and societal renewal. Such a viewpoint can be unsettling. We fear losing moral structure, yet Nietzsche argued that conventional rules are often illusions sustaining a comfortable life for the many. The bold question is, could existence be richer if we dare to craft our own moral universe? That doesn't greenlight cruelty. Moral revolution doesn't equate to savage brutality. True greatness arises when you realize that genuine strength requires no oppression. You can unleash your potential without crushing others. That's the difference between fleeting tyranny and timeless legacy. If you're pondering these ideas, perhaps you sense a calling. You see that conventional boundaries can't contain your growth. You refuse to stay naive about the game of power. You also reject being a mere brute. Your ambition aims higher. Nietzsche invites you to ask, am I chasing illusions of fairness, or am I confronting life as it is? Am I cowering under moral assumptions someone else wrote, or forging new ways of being? The moment you confront these questions, your transformation begins. Look at your environment. Who are the so-called winners? Are they only the most deceitful? Or do some combine power with genuine creativity? Notice how they turned adversity into advantage, how they navigate conflict without succumbing to cheap tactics. Therein lies your roadmap. Maybe you're tired of seeing bullies triumph. Instead of sulking, cultivate your own might. Learn to understand people's drives, hone your talents, strengthen your will, assert yourself confidently. Show resilience in the face of aggression. Then your presence itself becomes power. Don't be seduced by illusions that you must transform into a villain to succeed. Ruthlessness lacks depth. Real mastery calls for discipline, vision, and a passion for creation. These traits, fused with cunning, can outlast any petty tyrant's fleeting rule. Step away from the self-pitying claim that the world is unfair. Embrace that raw truth, then rise above it. If you can't handle harsh reality, you remain forever enslaved by it. Nietzsche believed that forging your own meaning in a random universe is the greatest testament to human brilliance. This demands bravery. Standing alone, forging your own path can be terrifying. Society often discourages the extraordinary. It wants you docile, playing safe within inherited norms. The Ubermensch spurns those restrictions, harnessing the unknown to redefine the possible. Yet, power is dangerous if untethered to an internal moral compass. Developing your own moral code, one aligned with self-transcendence, keeps you from degenerating into mindless cruelty. Paradoxically, that private code may be more authentic than the mass-produced morality we absorb from birth. On this journey, you'll stumble. Old fears may reemerge. You might second-guess your ambition, worrying it's selfish. But let Nietzsche's ideas remind you that wanting greatness isn't wrong. It's a primal impulse, a wellspring of creativity, as long as you remain conscious of potential pitfalls. Power seldom emerges by accident. You either claim it through consistent growth or watch others claim it. Learning from Machiavelli's cunning or Nietzsche's will to power doesn't require discarding empathy. It means ensuring your ideals don't shackle your ability to act decisively. If you hesitate, do so intentionally, not from weakness. If you show mercy, do it from self-possession, not appeasement. Be kind when it suits your deeper purpose, not out of blind tradition. True kindness doesn't equate to helplessness. It blossoms from genuine strength. Now imagine you stand at a threshold. Beyond it lies a realm defined by your own vision. Your illusions of cosmic fairness fall away. The critical question, will you cower, claiming moral high ground while resenting the strong? Or will you craft a balanced path, fusing conscience with power? When you choose the latter, you lift yourself beyond the stale dichotomy of predator or prey. You become an architect, shaping your fate. Others sense your grounded confidence. They may respect you or fear you, or both. But you remain in control, guided by a purpose larger than petty dominance. Perhaps that's Nietzsche's most profound message. Life asks us to transcend inherited morality and channel power into creation. We outgrow the illusions of a just universe and embrace life's unpredictability as a catalyst for self-invention. From that vantage, evil or worst people simply reflect incomplete manifestations of power. If these reflections stir something deep within you, if you sense that your own capacity for greatness has been dormant, take that step. Tame your fear, respect your ambition, and shape your moral code with intention. In that alchemy, raw power transforms into art, and you rise above the chaos on your own terms. Thank you for joining this exploration of why the most ruthless appear to succeed and how Nietzsche's insights can redefine your approach to power. If this resonates, stay curious, keep challenging assumptions, and forging your path. The most dangerous lie is that you have no choice. Break that lie today. Choose your own meaning, free from illusions, unafraid of your innate drive to excel. Nietzsche believed in our capacity for reinvention. Dare to grasp it. Subscribe for more on philosophy, self-mastery, and the art of transforming adversity into personal evolution.